Grandma and Grandpa's Story Time. Hi, I'm Nick,
I'm Mary Ann.
and today we're going to tell you a story about why it's important for kids to wear helmets when they ride.
It is.
And this story has a happy ending, so don't get too scared. But when our kids were about 11 and 13, they were really into Chevy Chase movies. They loved National Lampoon's Vacation and really loved Fletch. And we had VHS tapes, and they used to literally memorize the stories.
So much so that when we would be on long rides or vacations or something, they'd be in the back seat and they would be taking turns delivering lines, and it always was entertaining.
There's stuff like, let's go see the biggest ball of twine in the United States, or where are those mud huts?
Yeah, real important stuff. Anyhow, going on with the story. One day, one afternoon, back in, gosh, I don't remember.
It was
the
May
day.
23rd, 1987, pre-cell phone.
Okay, no, there's a reason that he remembers that. Anyhow, I was out in the backyard gardening. I had just given my son permission to ride his bike over to his friend's house, who lived about 3 miles away.
Yeah, he'd been begging for that for years.
He had, and I said, "You be very careful,
It's
please."
a country road.
Right. And nobody wore helmets then. So I was gardening in the back, and all of a sudden I heard my neighbor yelling my name, running over toward me, and I looked, and he said, "Look on there, look." And I looked out on the two-lane road, and there was a gray pickup truck stopped right in the middle, and beside it, my son and his bike. My son was lying in his head in a pool of blood. So I ran as fast as I could to get down there. I lifted him up, and thank God he was conscious and he knew what was going on. And so the neighbor in the meantime had called an ambulance, and within about 2 minutes the ambulance was there, loaded both of us in there. Oh, I mean, heart stopping.
And you went to the hospital.
Yeah, we went to the hospital.
And I was just coming home from work and pulled into our driveway, and our neighbors were standing in the driveway, which is not a good thing. They both looked really concerned. And I said, "What's going on?" They said, "Your son was hit by a truck." And I said, "Oh my gosh, is he still alive?" They said, "We don't know, but that blood on the road is from his head." So I turned around, picked up my daughter at school, and went to the hospital as fast as I could. When we got there was a social worker waiting at the door, and he said, "Are you Mr. Jacobs?" Which, that's not a good thing.
No.
But he took us back to the trauma room, and they had just cut his blue jeans off at the time. And there was a doctor there, and he was putting on a rubber glove, and he looked up at us, and he said, "I have to do an exam now to make sure there's no internal bleeding." And that's when we heard our son go, "Moon River." Hey, Doc, did you ever serve time? When was the last time you saw a spleen that big?
In his very best Chevy Chase voice. So that kind of indicated to us that he was going to be okay, which he was. But what a story.
Yeah, so hit like and follow.
Absolutely.
And hopefully see you.
Yeah, see you soon. And tell a couple of friends as well. Thanks for tuning in.